What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some Toxic Cup battles here. In this video, we're going to be using Toxicroak in every single line of 3 that we're running. Now, Toxicroak, pretty much any cup that it has been allowed in is one of the top contenders. And there's some great reasons why. It has access to counter as its fast move, which is just an amazing move, and you get stab on it because of Toxicroak's fighting typing. You also have access to Mud Bomb, which is a fairly inexpensive move, and you're going to be hitting super effective on the steel types and the poison types, which are kind of all over the place in this Toxic Cup meta right now. As well as you have access to either Dynamic Punch or Sludge Wave. Normally, people will run Sludge Wave instead of Dynamic Punch if you're already running Counter as the fast move, and it just hits for such strong damage because you get stab on that as well. However, whenever you use Toxic Cup, you always need to be very wary of the confusion users. Because of your fighting and poison typing, you're going to be double weak to psychic damage, and confusion can pretty much like 4-shot you. And just do a ridiculous amount of damage. So you're going to need to watch out for Wormadam Trash, assuming that it's running Confusion. You're going to need to watch out for Venomoth. You're going to need to watch out for Dustox, some of those other Confusion users. But if you can avoid those, Toxicroak is really going to shine. It's also really great because you're going to be taking resisted damage from the other fighters. So Escavalier, for example, with that counter damage, you're going to be able to resist that. So really great. Heracross is kind of in a similar scenario where Heracross resists fighting damage as well. But with Heracross, the charge moves are both a little bit more expensive, but they do hit really hard, so that's still a consideration. These are very early Toxic Cup battles, like almost a week ago, I think, and these are with one of my patrons, Cubs Tori, so huge shout out to her for supporting the channel. Toxicroak against Drapion is a very favorable matchup for me. Now, because that Drapion was running Ice Fang, it was doing more damage than if it were running Bite, which I'd be resisted. Meganium and Venusaur are allowed in this cup, but they are pretty lowly ranked on the PvP poke ratings. Not super certain if you are going to need a grass type in this Toxic Cup, but Meganium and Venusaur are both really amazing Pokemon, but there's so much that they have to look out for. The flying types, the poison types, the bug types, like there's a lot of things that are really going to prevent these Pokemon from shining. At least with Meganium, you have that Earthquake nuke to hit some of those poison types. Golbat is really going to be a monster in this cup. I'm going for double Frenzy Plants here. And Golbat really doesn't need to shield any of this. It's going to pretty much heavily resist all my charge moves that Meganium can throw at it. So I have Steelix in here. This is a this is a Thunder Fang Steelix. Not sure if this is the moveset to run. You don't get near as much energy generation as you do with Dragon Tail, but you do hit super effective on the water types. It's still going to be a losing matchup for you anyways. And I believe you're going to lose the mirror match because you won't generate energy as fast and be able to land as many Earthquakes. But I'm just completely out of fast TMs, and I was attempting to run a Thunder Fang Steelix for a short amount of time in Rose Cup. So still haven't changed that back, but Toxicroak is really going to town here. It was able to land the Mud Bomb on that Drapion and take it out. Golbat is going to be able to take out Toxicroak even though that was resisted. And these Thunder Fangs are really doing an insane amount of damage to this Golbat. So this is one scenario where Thunder Fang is really nice, but honestly, Steelix is going to win out that matchup with Dragon Tail anyways. Qwilfish is another Pokemon that you're going to be seeing a lot in the Toxic Cup. You can actually be pretty flexible with its moveset. There's definitely some viability running like Fell Stinger on it to boost your Aqua or to boost your water gun damage, because water gun can be a pretty insanely powerful move, especially if you start ramping up that attack. You could also possibly run acid spray on it as like a parting gift before your Qwilfish goes down to debuff that Pokemon. You could run Ice Beam to threaten the grass types, but so far I haven't really seen that many grass types in my practicing. Ice Beam's also going to threaten the flyers, which is really nice. But now Forretress is very interesting. PvPoke recommends Mirror Shot as one of the charge moves, but I think Mirror Shot just sucks. It has like a debuff chance, I think, of debuffing your opponent's attack, I believe. Not super certain on that, but it really does not do that much damage. Even though you get stab on it, if I do run Forretress, I'm most likely going to be running it with Rock Tomb and Earthquake. The Rock Tomb is going to threaten the bugs and the flyers, and the Earthquake just totally nukes the steel types. It's pretty amazing. Now Scizor is a very solid pick in this cup as well. Going to be double weak to fire, but since fire types aren't allowed in this cup, it's a fairly safe option. You do need to watch out for Fire Fang, Hippowdon, as well as like Flamethrower on Skuntank. I think Hippowdon is going to be amazing with that Fire Fang. That fire damage is going to be hitting the grass types, the bug types, and the steel types, all for super effective. And there's a lot of bug steel typings within this cup. So this Qwilfish is absolutely going to town on this Rhyperior here. Rhydon and Rhyperior are allowed in this cup as well, but they're also kind of lowly ranked. I'm pretty sure Doug Trio is even like above them. Oh, geez, I'm bringing in Galvantula again. I'm really trying to get this Galvantula to work. I just don't think it's ever going to happen for me. So, Toxicroak Mirror Match. Now that CMP has is more attack weighted, I need to look into the simulations, but I would assume that whichever Toxicroak has the higher attack is going to win that CMP, or is going to win that matchup. Because normally it's whoever lands the Mud Bomb is going to take that matchup. You very rarely faint from the counter damage. So I'm assuming in that mirror match, the higher attack Toxicroak is going to win it out. Now I do have my Toxicroak to meet this Drapion, which is going to be a very favorable matchup for me. I don't want to farm up too much energy because the Ice Fangs are really going to hurt. If this is an Aqua Tail, it's going to do a decent amount of damage. It's a Crunch, which is going to be resisted. Going to be able to counter it down. I still have 2 shields here. Is she going to bring the Toxicroak again? Yep. This Mud Bomb is going to be enough to take me out. And I let it go through because I want to see how much Galvantula can do with 2 shields. Oh my gosh. Out comes the Haunter. I'm just going straight discharge here. Galvantula, I like to think of it as like an Alolan Raichu that sucks. Because you don't have access to Thunder Punch, which is a cheaper move. Discharge takes more energy to get to. Oh my gosh, the freaking Haunter wins the CMP. Oh man, I am going to throw this discharge, but the Toxicroak is going to come back out, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get to a discharge before he counters me down. Oh my goodness, she's able to get to a Mud Bomb anyways and take me out. Good play there. Galvantula with 2 shields still sucks. I wanted to try to see what it could do. Not super great. Flygon is decently high rated on PvPoke. You do need to watch out for Ice and the Charmers. Oh my gosh, this is not a good scenario at all. And I actually have 2 things in this line that are weak to Charm, so I need to put on a lot of Poison Fang pressure onto this Wigglytuff before she switches out. That goes through, so that's very favorable for me, because now at least my Flygon and Toxicroak are going to have slightly more of a chance against that Wigglytuff. Toxicroak only takes neutral damage to Charm because of its fighting and poison typing, but Charm is just insane, and Toxicroak is not bulky at all. I land the Shadow Ball on the Forretress there. Golbat is legit. Like, definitely look into Golbat. I'll probably be doing a future video on Golbat soon. I believe at the time that I'm making this video, Golbat is currently #1 ranked for the Toxic Cup. So, super legit there. Mirror Shot just does hardly any damage. I'm okay even eating another mirror shot, but out comes that Wigglytuff. I'm going straight Earth Power here because Dragon Claw would be resisted, and I'm hoping that I can get to another Earth Power. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. The charm damage is too intense. Going for a Dragon Claw, it's hardly going to do anything. I do get a shield. She probably thought that I had 2 Earth Powers stored back to back, so that is positive for me. And now, because she switched in the Wigglytuff, it is now going to be locked against my Golbat, which is very favorable for me because my Toxicroak is going to be able to avoid that Wigglytuff. Still doesn't take it out. One more wing attack does the job there. What does she have in the back? She has Haunter, so this is actually really good for Toxicroak because it has access to Mud Bomb. Shadow Punches are really going to add up, and Haunter can just rip them off ridiculously fast. But this Mud Bomb should be enough to KO this Haunter. Yeah, it like one-shots it pretty much. Out comes the Forretress, and I'm able to counter it down. Good game there. Definitely give Toxicroak a try. I do think that you are going to need a fighter in this cup to threaten things like Steelix. But I don't know. We'll have to see. It's pretty nice also having a Pokemon that has access to fire-type moves, so either Hippowdon with Fire Fang, or I've also been really liking Skuntank with Flamethrower on it. Skuntank you can pretty much always use as like a confident safe switch, and it's going to be able to at least do some damage or draw some shields. Anytime it's allowed in a cup, even if you go against something like a Drapion, you can still land that Flamethrower. And if you're stuck against Steelix, you can still land that Flamethrower. So Skuntank is looking to be pretty legit. I am running the Ice Fang Drapion here, which I do think is the way to go in this cup. Not able to get to that Aqua Tail, very unfortunate. But Toxicroak is going to have a really good matchup against this Drapion. The Ice Fang is still going to hurt. Now, is this going to be an Aqua Tail? It's a Crunch again. Very interesting. Crunch is resisted. And that Venomoth came back out, so I instantly swapped. You have to avoid the Venomoth. I do commit my last shield here just because I need to get as much confusion damage off on this Venomoth as possible. We simultaneously feint it. I'm totally okay with that. And now, since she has 2 shields, I'm going to fully commit to just fast moving this thing down. It would be ineffective to try to land a charge move because it's just going to get shielded. And I'm able to barely take that game. Very good games there, Cubs Tory. And again, thank you so much for the support. If you would like to support the channel and be on my friends list and battle with me, head on over to my Patreon. The link will be down in the description. Let me know what you think of Toxicroak in this cup. And let me know if you want to see more Toxic Cup videos. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.